Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of The Math Behind the Modules. All right, Chapter 5.5 is Social Security and Medicare. All right, so what is Social Security? Well, it's a tax. FDR established it in 1930-something, 34, 1934, I believe, 35. So FDR came up with this in 1935, and it was designed to take care of people and their families. So when you retire, you get the money back that you paid in throughout your entire career. If something happens to you and you are become disabled, then you can collect Social Security before retirement through disability. If you die, your family gets Social Security that you contributed to your job. Okay, so that's what it was designed for, to cover family and time of need. All right, so then there's the Federal Insurance Contributions Act, FICA, and that was established. That's the Social Security was established in that act. It provides income for people after they retire, like I said, and also disability and the death benefit. Okay, so FICA taxes are the amount of money they are allowed to, a certain percentage is allowed to be taken from you. Your employer matches it. So you pay half, your employer pays half. Social Security tax falls under that as well. Medicare tax does too. So Social Security and Medicare both come out of your income every week. And I believe they said 90% of the population gets taxed this way, unless you're doing something else and you get paid strictly commission or something like that. You wouldn't pay Medicare or Social Security. Your maximum taxable income, there is a limit. If you make a lot of money every year, there is a limit as to how much they will tax. Anything over and above that, they no longer take out the Social Security or the Medicare taxes if you make higher than that. So they'll tax you up to a certain point, then the amount above that, if you make that much money, is not taxed. And then finally, your Social Security number is your personal identification number, and that's how they identify you, and that's the account that your money goes into, and that's how they keep track of how much you have paid in and how much you will get back when you retire. Social Security numbers are very private. Be careful with your Social Security number, because that is one of the main sources of fraud. So keep it under lock and key. Do not carry your Social Security card in your wallet. Okay, a lot of people do that. Do not carry your Social Security card on you. You should have your Social Security card in a fire-safe lockbox or something like that. And obviously memorize your number. Therefore, you no longer need to carry it with you. Okay, that is just really bad thing to do, is have it in your wallet walking around. You lose your wallet, you lose your identity. Okay, so example one, here we go. Ramiro got his first job in 2016. Okay, so the reason they're telling us that is because you don't have a Social Security account, if you will. You get a Social Security number at a certain point in your life before starting work. You have to have a Social Security card when you work. So in that year, Social Security taxes were 6.2% of income up to $118,500. So that is your maximum taxable income they're talking about. In this case, it's $118,500. If you make more than that, they'll tax up to this, and then anything over and above that does not get taxed. Okay, Medicare tax was at 1.45% that year, and Ramiro, this is his first job, people, 2016. I don't know what Ramiro went to college for, but making $73,000 your first year out of college is a pretty good deal. Some people do that, but it's rare. So in 2016, he made $73,210. How much did he pay for Social Security and Medicare tax? Okay, so all that information is there. It's taxable up to 118. He made less than 118, so his entire paycheck is taxable. So that is 73,210 times 0.062, and that will be how much he pays into Social Security. So let me get my calculator here, and 73210 times 0.062 is 4,539.02. Okay, so there's his Social Security contribution that year. He paid in $4,500. So think about that. If you put $4,500 into a retirement account that is in the stock market and you're looking for maybe a 10% return, well, 10% of 4,539 is $453. So that'd be worth $5,000 after year one, and then you keep contributing this amount and it keeps piling up, and that's how they're able to pay people back. But Social Security is becoming strained because of the number of people who have died early and withdrawn from it, and disability, and the fact that more people live longer now and are retired longer is putting a strain on the Social Security system. Okay, so anyway, now we have $73,210 of Ramiro's first paycheck, and 1.45% or 0.0145 comes out for Medicare. So then when I take that $73,210 and multiply that by 0.0145, then he paid in $1,061.55. Okay, rounding to the nearest penny. Okay, so 1,061 went to Medicare. Okay, and that is a health insurance tax. Okay, so it says how much did he pay for both? The word and means to add. 5 plus 2 is 7, 5 plus 0, 9 plus 1 is 10, 6 plus 3 is 9, plus that 1 is 10, 6, 5. So that year, $5,600.57 of the $73,210 went to Medicare and Social Security. Okay, dropping his pay down to $68,000. Okay, and then there's other taxes, federal tax, state tax, and so on. Okay, so that was just his gross. All right, so there's a little taste of Medicare and Social Security. So now it's a check your understanding, pause the video, see if you can do this, come back. Lisa made a total of X dollars last year. All right, let me get my highlighter. She made X dollars last year, which was more than the maximum taxable income. Okay, it was over the maximum taxable income for Social Security. The Medicare tax was 1.45%. Write an expression that represents what Lisa paid to Medicare last year. So let's go back up here. I want to see that 118.5. So if Lisa made a total of X dollars here, let me move this up so we can work up here. Where was this? Medicare tax 1.45 X dollars and more than. All right, here we go. So X dollars is greater than $118,500. So what we're going to do is, Lisa made a total of X dollars last year, which was more than the maximum taxable income for Social Security that year. The Medicare tax was 1.45%. Write an expression that represents what Lisa paid to Medicare. So to Medicare last year. All right, so that was just more than the maximum taxable income for Social Security, but Medicare's separate. So they're trying to throw us there. I had to think for a second. More than, so we're not trying to calculate Social Security here. If we were trying to calculate Social Security, we would say X minus, or 118,500, X minus 118,500, and take that overage and not tax it, but tax the 118,500. It'd be 118,500 times 1.45 plus, but they just want us to express what the Medicare tax was. So all it is 1.45 or 0.0145. I'm sorry, we're going to convert from a percent to a decimal. 0.0145X. And that's it. Okay. We're paying 1.45% of our X dollars. Medicare does not have a max. Social Security does. Okay, example 2 says to express Social Security tax for 2016 as a piecewise function. So what I'm going to do is go back to here and Social Security is 6.2% of income up to $118,500. That is the information we're going to use for example 2. Okay, so 6.2%. So it's going to be 0.062 and up to 118,500. Those are the values we're going to use. Okay, and we have to do a piecewise function. So let's just call it f of x. And a piecewise function is going to look like this. And so first of all, we want to come up with a formula. So we want f of x to equal 0.062, 6.2% of our income. But that is going to be if our income is less than or equal to $118,000, $118,500. Okay. So if we make less than this or equal to it, it will take 6.2% from us. So 0.062 of our income, if this. Okay. But then when there is a maximum, that is 0.062 of 118,500. That's the maximum allowable deduction. So if my maximum amount taxed is 118,500, then I take 118,500 times 0.062. So 6.2% of 118,500 is $7,347. So $7,347 is going to be the maximum they can take out of us. So if X is greater than that or equal to $118,500, then we're going to get the same amount. Okay. And actually, I don't want the equal sign here if it's greater than that. If it's up to that, that's going to give us the same value, but we're still going to use this equation to get us there. And then anything over 118,500 will not change. If I make $150,000, I'm only paying $7,347 into Social Security. So there is the piecewise function for our two scenarios, less than or equal to 118,500 or greater than 118,500. So now check your understanding says Ming works, let me switch to my highlighter, 3 jobs in 2016. The total of her income was less than $118,500. So her income is going to be whatever she worked, however much she made, since it's less than 118,500, we're going to multiply it by that 0.062. She worked at Quick Mart and made X dollars. She worked at the college bookstore and made Y dollars. And she worked at the Mail Depot and she made Z dollars. It says to express the combined total of her Social Security and Medicare taxes algebraically. Okay. So Social Security is 0.062% of how much you make. Medicare is, if I go back to number 1, 1.45%. So that's 0.0145 of how much you make. Okay. So if A plus or X is what she made at Quick Mart and Y is what she made at the bookstore and Z is what she made at the Mail Depot, and her total was less than 118,500, then she's going to pay these two values in. So what it's going to be is 0.062 of x plus y plus z. Okay, so they're going to take that amount out, plus they're going to take out 0.0145 of what she made at x plus y plus z. Okay, so they're going to take 6.2% out of the total she made, plus they're going to take 1.45% out of the total she made. So this is the combined total. So the total would equal this amount here. Okay, so if I wanted to simplify this though, this is two terms with this plus sign in between, and we're taking 0.62 of a sum, and we're taking 0.145 of the same sum. So really what I could do is combine. I could add these two and do the distributive property. So 0.062 plus 0.0145 would be 5, because that's 4 decimal places. This is only 3. And so the third place is 2 and the 4, which would add up to 6. And the second place is the 6 and the 1, which adds up to 7. So it's going to be 0.0765 of x plus y plus z if I factor out what I mean. Okay, so either of these would be true. Okay, example 3 asks us to graph that Social Security tax piecewise function from example 2. So I brought it over. F of x equals 0.062x if x is less than or equal to $118.50 or $118,500, and then $7,347 if it's over that. So keep in mind what we're graphing here. If this was y equals 0.062x, that is a linear function, and this is our slope or rate of change. And our y-intercept is 0. And this is what's called a constant function. So it's going to be a horizontal line at 7,347. Our independent variable x is our income, and our dependent variable, our taxes, is going to be y. Okay, dependent variable y. So with that all being said, we throw that all together, and I'm just going to bring this in. So our independent variables are income, our dependent variable, Social Security tax. And as I said, 0.062x is a linear function. This would be a slope of 0.062 or a rate of change. And this is just an approximation, by the way. And then up to a specific point of $118,500. And at that point, once I start making more than that, I don't pay more than 7,347. It is a constant function from that point forward. If I'm Elon Musk making millions of dollars a year, I'm paying $7,347 into Social Security. Okay. Check your understanding. Make Social Security marks. Social Security tax was $3,500 during the year. In the graph in example 3, use the graph to approximate his taxable income. Okay, so his Social Security tax was $3,500. That's tax. That is our y. All right. So if this is 7,347, 35 is just less than half of that. So if this was the halfway point, that'd be 3,500. But this is 7,300. Half of 73 is 36.5. So it'd be just under a smidge, and then over here, and I would approximate that his income would land somewhere here, which would be less than half of 118, or less than half of 54, less than $54,000 a year. Okay, so there is the approximation. So I would say that he made approximately, I don't know, 50-some thousand dollars. Okay. And so let's just say approximately, I don't know, 55 grand. Okay, again, it's just an approximation. And using the graph, it would be here, straight down. It's less than half of 118. Okay, example 4 says in 1988, Social Security tax was 7.51%. to the maximum income of only 45,000. If Grace earned $51,211 in 1988, how much was her Social Security tax? Well, she made more than the maximum, so we're only going to take the maximum times the percent rate, and that will be how much she paid, because it levels off and becomes a constant and never goes above. So it's going to be, the answer is going to be $45,000, and I'm going to multiply that by 0.0751. So when I do that, I'm going to get how much she had to pay in. So $45,000 times 0.0751. So about 3/4 of her pay. Or I'm sorry, yeah, not 3/4. 7.5%, not 75%. So $3,379.50. 3379.50. Okay, so that is how much you paid, because once you get to 45, the other $6,211 she made after 45 will not be taxed because she maxed out. Okay, so now check your understanding, pause the video, see if you can do this, come back, see how you did. So in this one, it says in 1988, Ramona paid $2,853.80 in Social Security tax. What was her taxable income in 1988? Use example 4 above. Well, I better go back up there then. And since it's so far away from me, I need to move these all up. So there's what she paid, and it was 1988. So all we're going to do here is use the values from 1988. So if it is, let's use G for gross income times the rate of, let's use a parentheses, 0.0751. So gross income times that. So in other words, we're trying to find the gross income. And she paid $2,853.80. So if you just write the formula and plug in the givens and then do the algebra to solve for G, you're dividing by 0.0751. And these will cancel, and I will get her gross income by taking what she paid, $2,853.80, and divide it by the rate 0.0751, and she made $38,000 before taxes. And there you have it. That, I believe, is also the end of lesson 5.